Hello YouTube, I'm Des and I don't have a set, but I do have unfettered internet access. And welcome to I Read It Somewhere, a YouTube channel where I look at whatever my brain rot leads me to. Usually that means Reddit. And today on Reddit, we're looking at Today I F***ed Up. Normally around now, I would explain what the subreddit does, but the title is pretty self-explanatory. So today we are going to read stories about how people f***ed up. And we're going to start with Today I F***ed Up by trying to bang a goth baddie and my wife found out. My 31 male wife, 32 female, and I are in a healthy and happy relationship. That said, we've been together since high school, so we both feel that we missed out a little by being each other's only sexual experiences. We've talked about this at length and decided a few years ago that we're okay with having a few hall passes in our relationship, since we very much intend to stay together for the rest of our lives and don't want any resentment over missed possibilities. It's pretty rare that we could even find such an opportunity, as it's a little hard to find hookups when you're in a committed marriage and don't go out much. I mean, there's apps for that. We gave each other advance approval in case a situation arises, so long as we're safe about it and we tell each other immediately afterwards. We've both used one hall pass each with someone we know well enough, but would never see again. And no issues came out of it. In fact, it only made us more secure in our relationship and how we generally appreciate being with each other. It sounds like you guys would benefit by just having a polyamorous relationship. Recently, I had to travel to London for work. I don't normally get to travel for work, so I decided to make a trip out of it and spend a few extra days of my own time in the city after the project was done. My wife couldn't join because she didn't have any vacation time left, but was very supportive of me taking some time to explore, since I've never been to London and since she has. Being cheap and being a pretty outgoing guy when I'm so inclined, I decided to stay in a hostel. I was interested in meeting other travelers since I didn't know anyone in the city and loved being sociable with few people. I chatted with several of the people staying there, and in particular, a very attractive French girl in her mid-20s who dressed up super goth. Goth with a French accent? I can see why you'd be interested. For context, I love the goth girl's look. I've been sucked into the goth GF propaganda online, much to the annoyance of my wife. Okay, so is it real goth or is it just e-girl goth? Because those are two different things. It isn't her style, but she has been nice enough to cater to me by putting on a goth outfit for occasion, since she knows it's a huge fantasy of mine. Still, I pester her constantly to be more goth because I enjoy it so much. This is gonna sound douchey. Not that I think it's like some horrible thing. Obviously, we're not like a protected minority or whatever, but like it does lead to the over-sexualization of us. And it does lead to blatant disrespect. Like, for example, I was out walking one day, and this is not uncommon, this is just off the top of my head. And I was in one of my favorite dresses. And I'll put a picture on it somewhere, maybe. I don't like how I used to look. I lost a good amount of weight since then, but it was a long sleeve dress with like a flowy back and then like a short skirt thing that went up to the knees. And I remember specifically one time I was walking to Tim Hortons to get an ice cap because I am a whore for ice caps. And on my way back, a guy passed in a pickup truck. He passed once, I ignored it. He passed twice, I ignored it again. There's a third time he passed and he slowed down his truck and he started yelling obscenities while driving slowly beside me as I ignored it because I didn't know how to deal with that situation. This guy stalked me for 3 blocks, calling me all sorts of things from a horse. How dare you dress in that? Now note that this is something that basically covered almost my entire body. Okay, it was not like a particularly revealing thing, but it was all in black, and I had long, blonde curly hair that goes down to my waist, and I had these black eyeliner. I used to do raccoon eyeliner, basically. I look pretty different, and it resulted in a man stalking me all the way home to where I lived at that point, calling me and horrible things. That's just one thing. Like, it's very common for people to do that sort of stuff. And now I know we have, because of TikTok, this idea of how goth are supposed to look all the time, but now a lot of the time they just look like this because surprisingly enough, it does actually take a very long time to get all dolls up. And you know, it's not something you do every single day, but like when you do even like a little bit of that, you do get harassed. And again, I'm part of groups that have been sexualized and fetishized, and I'm part of groups that like are a minority. So I don't want to be like, oh, we're a minority. We're so oppressed. We're so fetishized. But then also, I mean, we are fetishized by people who watch too much e-girl on the hub, and it's very uncomfortable, and it's just touching on some trigger points in me. I get it, it's a me thing, and I might sound out of touch to some of y'all, but if you're any sort of alternative, I'm sure you do understand, kind of get the what I'm getting at. It's just gross. It's just gross. You shouldn't fetishize that. I don't think you should try to force your girlfriend into a subculture that is not her thing, especially when you exclusively use it in context in your life.
I thought I heard self-righteous clumping. Can I help you?
Anyway, I ended up spending a little bit of time with the goth French baddie. We both went to the hostel's happy hour event and hit it off there. I found out that she was recently single and in London for an art show. It turned out we were both into emo music, and we talked about our favorite bands. I had thought that she was acting a bit flirty towards me, but didn't think too much of it until later I found myself sharing a sink with her in the hostel bathroom. The hostel was co-ed, so each floor had a small shared bathroom with a communal sink, and a door that was meant to be kept open, but what people frequently closed for the sake of having more privacy than just a stall to shower in. So I'm brushing my teeth while chatting up a real-life version of ShadowHeart. If you were really into goth baddies and not e-girl baddies, you'd be into Minthara, or you'd be into Karlak.
Do not tell the others, or I'll clip your pussycat's wings.
I don't want to wait anymore. Can we knock the others out so we can go to bed?
Hell, maybe you'd even be into Astarion. But I hate that ShadowHeart is the goth option. Sorry. Who, mind you, is wearing an extremely low-cut top when she suddenly closes the bathroom door behind us. In my mind, my wildest fantasy is about to come true. It's even more exciting because of the adrenaline rush of being in a semi-public setting and a girl being so into me that she would make such a bold move. I can't believe this is actually happening to me. I instantly get hard, and she turns around and asks, "Are you interested in learning about our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ?" She had me cornered for 10 minutes trying to talk me into salvation, while I grew increasingly despondent and immediately disappointed. With the whiplash of going from what could have been one of the crowning moments of my life to pure utter dejection. Hey, you like ShadowHeart. The thing about ShadowHeart is she is a priestess. So would you like to learn about our Lord and Savior, Shar? When I told my wife this story, she laughed for a solid hour. She said it's karma for annoying her about wanting a goth girlfriend. Too long didn't read. Life dream was going to bang a hot goth girl. Thought I was getting the opportunity, but got cock-blocked by Jesus Christ. God is real, and he hates me. And the comments are great. Every woman reading this has a brand new weapon to get away from guys they don't want hitting on them. Trust me, it doesn't stop them. Trust me. Yeah, see, someone replies, for every trick we have to avoid them, there's 100 men who it won't work on. Ask if they are circumcised or uncircumcised, then grimace regardless of their answer. I hope you understand that there's a whole subsection of people that really, really get off to you bullying them and talking down to their manhood. Do with that information what you will. Today I up by doing anything I want with my friend if I won games of Mario Kart against her. My friend and I would enjoy playing video games together, but on several occasions she would want to up the stakes and make things more interesting. Her proposal was that if she won a game of Mario Kart against me, she could do anything she wanted with me, and if I won, I could do anything I wanted with her.
Wait a minute, did you say anything? Anything. Anything. Yes, anything. 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 I'll get you, and I'll look like a bloody accident. Anything.
Little did she know how good at Mario Kart I was. The first couple of victories were harmless enough. I'd win the race, and I'd say, "You've got to talk like Wario for the next race." Or, "I get to borrow your DVDs," most of which was wildly amusing and diabolical for me to ask of her. But the thing about it is that I kept winning. And being the dope that I was, I thought I was on a hot streak getting off all these free stuff from her. And I played it up like I was some kind of pompous court jester, gallivanting across the courtyard. Every now and again, she'd put the same offer back on the table. "Oh, you were just missing the hints. That's okay, because I was too until I got to this part." And I'd keep winning, and she would make her frustration known the more she kept losing races in Mario Kart. She just wants to sleep with you, guy. And it didn't help that I would brag about my victories within our circle of friends, celebrating the invisible trophies and spraying imaginary champagne. It wouldn't be until we were older and grown apart that she would disclose that she was a little upset by the whole thing because she would practice playing Mario Kart for hours before racing against me in hopes of winning. And the reason she wanted to win was because she found me handsome and didn't know how to initiate the interaction. Okay, so I do understand. This is why I never know when someone's flirting until after the situation, by the way. This is the primary reason why I'm single so often. The whole time, she was hoping that I would ask for a kiss from her whenever I would win. But me being the dumbass I was, I kept asking to borrow her Linkin Park albums and to draw buff kittens with sleeve tattoos. I feel the pain, man. I do. I really do. And so not only did I miss my shot with my friend, I also broke her heart every time I would clench victory from her on the final lap, performing the miracle last-second overtake maneuver or cackling like a cartoon whenever the spiky blue shell of doom would nuke her dreams. TLDR, my female friend wanted to win a game of Mario Kart against me so she could kiss me, but never won, and I kept asking for anything but physical intimacy. Today I f***ed by not telling my doctor how many Tic Tacs I eat per day. So I'm absolutely obsessed with Fruit Adventure flavored Tic Tacs. The flavor combined with the soft smush they make between your teeth when you chew makes my brain very happy. I've been buying them in bulk, where each container has 200 candies each, and they come in bulk packs of 12 containers. That's a bit much. That's a bit excessive. I tend to eat them by the handful while I'm working or gaming, so in a day I can easily slam through 1/2 containers. That's a lot. What? That's like 400 candies each. That's insane. That's way too much, dude. You just buy gum and chew it for hours on end. What is this? Now keep in mind, on the nutrition label, it says that the serving size is 1 candy and is listed as having 0 calories, which I thought was awesome because I could have as many as I want. Over the past year, I gained about 40 pounds and nothing about my eating habits had changed as far as I was aware. I told the doctor about it and she was a bit worried. So she had me do a bunch of blood work to see if there was a reason why I gained so much weight in a short period of time. Everything came back normal. She referred me to a weight loss doctor who would also have me see a dietitian. I had been working with a dietitian for a few months now, and we had me keep a food log. I had a virtual visit with her today, and during it, I was fiddling around with an empty container to keep my hands busy. When she saw it, she asked me where I got such a large container from, so I told her about how I eat 1 to 2 of them per day. She asked me why those were on my food tracker, and I said because there's 0 calories and they wouldn't count. You need to include the things that are 0 calories on the food tracker as well. You just do. Apparently, I was very wrong about this. She explained to me that food companies can label something as 0 calories if the food serving size contains 5 or less calories. In reality, each individual Tic Tac actually has but 2 calories. So essentially, each container has 200 pieces, and I typically have 1 or 2 of them. I've been eating 400 to 800 calories and above per day of Tic Tacs, in addition to all the other food I eat, which is very likely why I gained so much weight. It is so that they can do that. It is so up that they can do that. If something has 5 calories in it, you need to label it as 5 calories. What? I didn't know that. The government. TLDR didn't realize that Tic Tacs weren't actually 0 calories and gained a ton of weight because I eat so many a day. Edit. Just wanted to clarify that I am aware that sugar will in fact make you gain weight. I'm not that stupid. I never actually read the product ingredients. I assume they must have been made with something like xylitol or some other artificial sweetener to make them 0 calories. So it never crossed my mind to check. Edit 2. Dang, y'all are brutal. But at least some good came out of it, since apparently, like me, a lot of people didn't realize the less than 5 calories per serving. I certainly didn't. Luckily, I don't really eat sweets, so it doesn't apply to me. Rule can legally be classified as 0 in the US. Personally, I wish that we could have them all they do in other countries, where it just lists calories per X amount of grams. I feel like we do that here in Canada, because I've never heard of something saying 0 calories when it actually has 5. Today I f***ed up by falling asleep in the bathtub. So I had the flu and a bunch of mini issues that came with that. Ear infection, nausea, headaches, etc. So for the first time in a very long time, I decided I was going to soak in a bath. I have like 3 bath bombs in the back of my bathroom cupboard I've had for maybe 2 years because I usually shower, not bathe, and decided I wanted to use the glittery peach one. To my horror, and apparently my husband's, that peach glitter bath bomb is neither peach nor glittery, but is the closest red I've seen to blood. I'm soaking and I knock out. I must be a shallow breather. From what I was told, I was faced away from the door, and the way my hair draped down made it look as though I was face down in the water. I was a very heavy sleeper. I have like 20 morning alarms to wake up and still tend to get up late, so my husband touching my leg didn't wake me up, nor did his scream. I think you might have traumatized your husband before. And apparently my skin felt ice cold. Yes, sitting in a cold bath water will do that. My brother-in-law runs in and starts freaking out, running back to find his phone, and my husband tries to grab and hold me. I imagine this was very dramatic. And in that process, my head goes under the water for a second. I pop up because I got water in my nose. I'm confused as to why my husband is crying, and my brother-in-law runs back in, thanking God, and my husband is trying to figure out where the blood was coming from. I think you just gave both your brother-in-law and your husband lifelong trauma from this. Also, you shouldn't be sleeping in the bathtub. You can actually drown by doing that is like a thing. I'm obviously terrified by the audience while I am butt naked in this bath. And as if it couldn't get worse, I was asleep so long that the bubbles were gone, so I was just exposed. I yelled at them to get out and just stood up and showered. Definitely not a fan of this situation. Gonna stick to showers. Gonna avoid my brother-in-law for the rest of my life. TLDR, took a bath. Bath bomb made it look bloody. Woke up to a grieving husband and brother-in-law. Don't fall asleep in the bathtub. This could have gone so much worse. I thought this was like common sense that you shouldn't sleep in the bath. Today I by asking a MILF for her number. So I was at the mall with my son, who is a toddler. My son was playing really well with this little girl. Like they were two peas in a pod playing together, just having a blast. I'm a big dude. A lot of people say I look the scary type. Anyway, my son is playing and I'm eating lunch, and I decide I need to figure out who this girl's parents are. I figure it out. Apparently she's a hot mom. So I walk up to her and go, "Hey, our kids are playing together. Maybe I can get your number and we can set up a play date." She looks at me and goes, I'm married.
I have a boyfriend.
I was thinking, that's nice. My son wants to play with your daughter. So I said, me too. My wife would love to meet you. Our kids are playing well together. Do you want to set up a play date? At this point, her husband walks up and she goes, "This guy is asking for my number after I told him I'm married." Lovely. I love women like this. You can say the most innocent shit and it's, "I'm married. I'm married. Don't talk to me. I'm married." Like, oh my God, I have a husband. You're so evil. Especially if you're like visibly clear or queer, or like they know that you're into women. You mean, "I'm married. You're not, I'm not into you. I'm married." Shut the up. He just wants the kids to have a play. She should have like clued in and be like, "Oh, I perceived this wrong," when he was like, "Yeah, my wife would love to meet you." But no, "I'm married." Up. God damn, how are you married? Because you sound annoying. TLDR, son was playing with a little girl. Tried to get the girl's parents' info so we could set up a play date. Her mom thought I was trying to pick her up because her mom is full of herself. Should have turned to her husband and said the same thing. "Hi, our kids are playing well together. Can I get your number so maybe we can set up a play date?" Strike out with the wife, down the husband. Total Chadman. Today I up by having an itchy butt for 11 months. I had a vasectomy in January of 2024. Dude, as someone who had a hysterectomy, honestly, it's not the same. But if you have any sort of medical veins down there and you're itching for anything longer than an hour, you need to pay attention to that. And you were itching for 11 months after a... Do you have a brain? Is it in there? Is there anything in there at all? I had a vasectomy in January of 2024. A few days after the procedure, my butt started itching uncomfortably and unceasingly. And of course, you did nothing. At first, I thought it was a side effect of the procedure. Maybe I was reacting to the bandages. Maybe it was the non-stop sitting as I recovered. Or maybe I itched because I didn't shower for a few days post-op. Yeah, post-surgery, you get real musty, real gross. You're not allowed to shower for like 3 to 4 days. But I recovered and got back to my normal routine, and the itching continued. I tried everything, short of consulting my doctor. It's embarrassing to tell people your butt itches. If you have an operation on your balls, you cannot be embarrassed that your butt itches. The dude saw your balls. He held your balls in his hand. Why are you embarrassed by the butt? I started showering twice daily. I outfitted all my toilets with bidets. I even tried a few different types of creams and ointments. Nothing worked. Yeah, you tried everything aside from visiting your doctor. I Googled my symptoms and got a variety of results. Some sites suggested I might have hemorrhoids, pinworms.
Pinworms.
Pinworms. I hope you get your cats back, Emily. Or some other butt-related ailment. One helpful forum simply said, this happens when you turn 40. Your butt starts itching. You just have to deal with it. That sounds like a Reddit forum. That's exactly the type of thing that Reddit would say. I resign myself to having an itchy butt for the rest of my life. Over the holidays, 11 months into my affliction, I started scratching my itchy unmentionables when I had a fun. When I had my vasectomy, I followed the doctor's instructions and wore some tight briefs for a few days. Those briefs became part of my laundry cycle, and I wore them regularly. Looking at their tag, they were 20% spandex. Turns out, spandex is pretty common allergy. But that's not where I expected this to go. I threw out the briefs and the itching stopped after a few days. I'm now itch-free and never wearing spandex again. I resigned to the idea that I was going to have an itchy butt for the rest of my life, and now I live a clear, itch-free life again. TLDR, my butt was itchy for 11 months. Turns out I'm sensitive to spandex. Well, that could have done way worse. I assumed that you had, like, an infection. I guess I wonder if it's as dangerous to get a vasectomy as it is for a hysterectomy. I assume it is dangerous, but not as dangerous, because when you have the hysterectomy and if anything goes wrong, it's like you got to get your into the doctor immediately. Otherwise, you're going to have a cuff tear. You're going to be literally eviscerated. Your intestines are going to fall out and you could die immediately. So maybe that's just my own panic. But wow, I didn't expect it to be a spandex allergy. How have you not worn anything with polyester in it before then, though? Because we live in the age of fast fashion where it is extremely hard to get like natural fibers. How have you not noticed this? This video might be a little shorter than the others, but I'm running out of daylight. I've been doing this for like 6 hours and my voice is dying and my cats are yelling outside. So that was today. I If you like this video, do all the YouTube things below. I don't need to do an outro. I have a pre-recorded outro. I'm done. I'm tired. Bye.
Well, that was the video. Thank you for watching the video. Yes, this is a pre-recorded ending so that I stop forgetting to put them into the videos. If you like what you just saw, leave a like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube things. If you hate it, let me know that you hate it. Any interaction at all helps me in the algorithm. I am but a very teeny channel, but if you want to support me, there will be links in the description for a Patreon. There will be a free tier and tiers from $5 up. Basically, it's just a place to find informations on upcoming videos. You can suggest what type of stuff you want to see there. And of course, if you want to support me, you can support me in this economy so I could put out a video more than every 15 days, which seems to be the current schedule. If you want to see more of my stuff, there's going to be something on the screen showing you to my latest video and the video that you are most likely to like from my channel. So go and check those out and support the channel. Y'all are awesome. I'll see you when I see you.